Welcome everyone to another episode of Cryptid Mysteries. This story comes from Eureka, California, 1898. In 1965, my mother's friend, an old dear from near Sacramento, showed her a letter. It was transcribed by her daughter, who found some of the usage and language amusing, and she presented it to her grammar school class. No one knows where the original is. It was found and pressed into the pages of an old dictionary, but has been lost or misplaced. Enjoy it. If you use it in your publication, please just refer to me as Jack. I enjoy the fruits of your research and wish you many, many years of success in your endeavor. Regards, Jack. A few weeks back, my friend Jack McCoy and I were in witness to the following accounts. We were well spent after an uncommon day of awful heat-cutting timber. Our days in the woods were usually of cool and foggy nature, with the heat rarely becoming to our discomfort. After our supper, Jack and I were of a mind to sit by the creek. With the next day being Saturday, we were able to do and enjoy an evening of our own doings. We were smoking and having coffee when we smelt something like a dead animal left to rot in the heat. I remember once coming upon a shot bear that his hunter could not trail, and it had laid and rotted for 4 days, by my opinion. It gave an awful stench, which could give many a disagreeable stomach. This scent was in similarity to that. We saw nothing out of the expected, but we could hear a rustling in the bush just across the creek. Being August, the creek was not more than 4 or 5 good strides from this bank across. A man could start to a run and jump fully across if he were determined to do so. We saw a large man coming through the trees, and Jake stood up and asked, "What in the creation is that?" As I had just been looking toward the sun, my eyes did not give clear viewing. I rubbed my eyes to have a look. I was not in knowledge of what I saw. It appeared to be a bear at first, but we had not seen any bears in this area, and it walked like a man on 2 legs. If it was a man, he was covered with a dark hair, long like the mane of a horse, and it was dark brown in color. Jack yelled out, "Who goes there?" But this man-beast did not make a response. It stopped in its tracks, and it looked at us from a distance of about 70 paces. We stood, but were frozen as we wondered of the type of creature we were witnessing to. After just a moment or two, it turned and walked back up the hill in great long strides with unexpected ease and swiftness. We heard it climb up the hill, and then all was silent. We noticed it walk for 20 or so paces, all of them upright. It had arms like a man, but much longer in size and greater in length. It must have been of great length, as we determined it to be greater in height than 7 feet. We said nothing to our supervisors, as loathing and insubordination would get you off and looking for employment in other parts. Too many men wanted too little work, so saying anything that would attract attention to yourself in a manner not deemed proper was not born of a good idea. However, an Indian named Joe, who frequented our camp to vend his wares, had told of a mountain giant uncommon to these woods. I explained what I saw, and he said his people often saw these giants. However, he said most would see them late at night or darkness. The giants not care to be seen, and were quiet and careful to be hidden. Joe said he could find tracks all along the creek and rivers of the morning. I swear the events written here is the truth, and happened with us being of sound mind and sobriety. L.T. Mills. Thank you everyone for listening, and if you haven't subscribed, please do so. Hit the notification bell and share it with your family and friends if you enjoyed the show. This was a really hard read because of the nature and the way the language was, so I hope everybody enjoyed it. It was a really hard read because of the way they talked back in, I guess, the 1890s. But again, thanks for listening, and until we do the next video, I may start, and I've said this a couple of times on the at the end of the stories, I may crank up the phone lines and go live on Saturday nights. If I decide to do that, I'm gonna put a notification out that shows when we will go live, and have people call in and to be able to share their stories. And I think that would be a nice addition to the show. And let me know what you think. Send us an email and let us know what you think, because I think it would be a nice addition to the show. Again, anyway, thank you, and I will see you on the next video.